Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope your day is going wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me. Well, today we're going to create a card for Photoplay, and I'm feeling in a dreamy mood, so we are going to be using the Say It With Stamp Stars stencil. This is a 6x6 stencil that has a whole bunch of different sizes of stars. We're going to be using that along with the Photoplay Say It With Stamps clouds die. This is what the clouds die looks like. There is 5 clouds, and I think it's going to create a nice dreamy background. We are going to start off by doing a little bit of stenciling. On my stencil, I already sprayed some pixie spray behind here, so this is going to lightly tack to my cardstock. I'm just going to be using a white cardstock panel. We're going to end up die cutting this out in a little bit, but I'm going to place my stencil over my panel, and then I'm going to bring in my craft mat here, and I wanted to do a nice bright background. So I'm bringing in some Distress Oxide inks. I have Wilted Violet, I have Kitsch Flamingo, and then I have Salty Ocean. I think these 3 blend together beautifully, and I think it's going to create a nice soft sky. To color in my stencil, I'm going to be using my blending brushes, and we're going to start off with the Kitsch Flamingo. And I want to kind of scatter the color around my background. So I'm going to put some pink in that top corner. We'll put some pink in this bottom corner. And then maybe over here in the middle, we'll add some more pink. Kind of spread out that color. Next, we're going to use our next color, which will be Wilted Violet. And I'll just pick up some ink here, and we'll go towards the top, kind of overlapping over the pink a little bit. And then I'm going to add some color to down this bottom corner. We're going to end up trimming our panel, but you do want to make sure when you overlap that they kind of blend together. And then we'll bring in our Salty Ocean with the leftover area here. And I think when these 2 blend together, it just creates a real pretty background color. Add maybe a little blue over here for a little more balance. And then I think we need some purple over here. So we'll grab a little bit more Wilted Violet, put some purple on this side. I think that's going to work out great. Kind of looks like a hot mess, but I think when you remove the stencil, it's just going to look beautiful. Once we have all of our color, we are going to take a towel, and I'm going to go over my stencil, just brushing off that ink. And then I do want a little bit of sparkle on my background. So I'm going to be using some Ranger Perfect Pearls Mist. This is a real pretty soft pearly color. I'm going to shake it up really good. And we're going to spray lightly. And this is going to add some nice color to our background. We can remove the stencil and see the beautiful results. And it almost looks dimensional, but I love how the Perfect Pearls Mist just makes it softer. So that will be our background. I'm going to go ahead and use my heat gun. We're going to speed up the drawing process of our panel. Okay, once I used my heat gun, sped up that drawing process. It kind of warped my paper a little bit, but no worries. We're going to go ahead and die cut this out with the Say It With Stamps Nested Pennant die set. This is part of the new release. And I'm going to use the largest one that will fit an A2 size card. So we are going to run this through our die cutting machine. Okay, I ran this through my die cutting machine, and I'm loving the way this looks. I love that there's stitch detail. Now, if this were to go on an A2 size card front, which is what we're going to do, you can see it fits beautifully, leaves a little bit of a border, and I love that. Okay, so Our pennant is done. Now we're going to do a little bit more die cutting. I have a large piece of cardstock here. We're going to die cut out some clouds using the Say It With Stamps clouds. And then we'll also take some gold cardstock and some white cardstock. For my sentiment, I am going to be using the Say It With Stamps Dream die. There is a stamp set that goes with the Dream, but I'm just going to use the die set for my card today. I'll take the outline or the shadow and die cut that out with the gold cardstock. And then I'll take the Dream and die cut that out with white cardstock. I'm going to be running these through my die cutting machine and I will be right back. Okay, I ran these through. This is the shadow. And then we have the letters here, which I'm going to punch out. And we'll go ahead and add our Dream, our letters to our outline. They're all separated, but what makes it very easy is the outline, because you have all the open spaces from the outline. I'm just going to use my tape runner to adhere my letters. It's less messy than glue, but if you wanted to use glue, for me, if you wanted to use glue, you very well could. And you can see it's very, very easy to line up. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see. Next we'll add our R and our M. Wonderful. You know what? While I'm at it, I'm going to take the outline and I'm going to die cut that out with some fun foam. Okay, I went ahead and die cut this out with some adhesive backed fun foam. And what I'm going to do is punch it out here. And I'm going to remove the release paper. But I want to add a little bit more of a dreamy look to my card. So to do that, I'm going to bring in some very thin gold wire. And I'm going to just add some loopies behind my sentiment. This is beading wire. You can buy it at your local craft store, but it's just very thin gauged. And I like this to add a little bit of extra texture to my cards. And I'm just keeping the swirlies and little loopies, excuse my inky fingers, and then I'm going to add it behind the fun foam here. Once you have loopies, and I sandwiched that top piece between, we have a little bit of texture to our background. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and bring in our card base. My card base today is a standard A2 size card base. I'm going to take my star panel and we'll flip it around. And I'm going to use my tape runner, add some adhesive behind here. And this is going to go directly adhered to our card base. This does leave a little bit of a border, so you want to make sure it's evenly spaced. And then I want to create a pennant card. So down here, I'm going to use my scissors and just trim off the bottom of our card base with the scissors to create a pennant card base. I think creating different kind of card bases is really nice. Nice little surprise. And then there's plenty of room here to write your message. Next, I wanted a moon for my dream. To create a moon, it's super duper easy, guys. I'm going to go ahead and just use some circle punches. Let me zoom back out. But if you have circle dies, you could use your circle dies also. This is a 2 1/4 inch punch, and then this is a 1 3/4 inch punch. What I'm going to do is take some gold cardstock, and I'm going to punch out a 1 1/4 inch circle. Then I'm going to take 3/4 inch punch, and I'm going to add this. Not so it's all the way over, but just slightly. Let's see. Depending on how big of a moon you want. And I think I want a little bit more of a slivered moon. And I think that is perfect. So you have an instant moon with your circle punches. And again, if you don't have circle punches, you can use circle dies. I do have leftover gold cardstock, so what I'm going to do is punch out 2 stars, and I have a star punch. Maybe 3. Okay, we are going to go ahead, add some foam adhesive behind our moon, and then we can add some clouds. Let's just remove the release paper and have these overhanging on our clouds right underneath that moon. I'm going to take some small foam squares and we will pick up our little stars here. Then we'll add some stars to the background. Lovely. Okay, now we need a little bit more sparkle, so I'm bringing in some, these are some light yellow goldy colored gems, and I'm going to add some of these in our background as well. I think these look really fun. Now, I'm just going to leave the sentiment as dream, because I can use this for graduation if you wanted to. You could use this for a, you could also use this for a newborn, baby's first birthday, sky is the limit. And then that finishes off my project for today for Photoplay. I hope you enjoyed my project. Everything's listed down below. Have a great day, guys. We will see you again real soon.